Have you ever thought, I'll like myself or be happy with myself when, when I've lost weight, or when I've passed my exams, or when I've got that job, or when I've got that house, or when I have the right partner? It is amazing how often we can put off liking, appreciating, and even loving ourselves because of some flaw in our life. So in this video, we're going to explore the flaws and what we can do about them. It's easy to keep putting off liking ourselves, appreciating ourselves, and loving ourselves until a future event happens. Like we said just now, with that, maybe we've lost weight, or we have got a new job, or a new partner, or I'm earning some more money, or could be anything. But when we do that, we're putting off our happiness to tomorrow. And do you know what? Tomorrow never turns up. It is only ever now. So let's start looking by flaws. It's really easy to say, I'm not going to like myself because of. So what are these flaws that are keeping you from loving yourself? What are flaws? Now, it's really interesting sometimes, and I know that I felt it too, especially as a woman around weight, that thinking I've put on a few extra pounds, therefore I don't look good in my clothes, or I'm not feeling quite acceptable because things are feeling a bit tighter. And there's an element of shame in there too. Have you felt that? You're not alone if you have. It's really, really common. And not even as a woman, as a man too. We can feel a flaw of not earning enough and not having a prestigious job in other people's eyes, to see that we're not quite as strong or emotionally fit or even physically fit as we might think we ought to be. And we can consider these to be flaws. Now, I'd like to ask you whether these flaws are really real. How do we know whether they're really real? Just because somebody has said at some point, or maybe I've heard at some point, that women need to be a certain size. And here I use the word need. And need is a really strong word. It's a bit like should. It boxes you in the corner. It says that you have to be something. But I would ask, according to who? Who is this person, or who are these people that say I have to be a certain size to be acceptable? Who are these people that say to a man that he has to have a certain job and earn a certain level of income in order to be an acceptable man? Who is saying these things? Why are we taking this on board? Well, it's all to do with cultural conditioning. These are things that are being passed through families, that we're learning about who we are, and makes us feel unacceptable. They feel like flaws. And until we learn to do something or be something in a better way, that we will feel incomplete, that we will feel lacking, and maybe even broken. Now, there are ways to challenge that thinking. And we certainly want to move beyond that thinking, because otherwise we just get trapped in that spiral. And I know, I see that in clients that I'm working with, that they're trapped in believing they're not worthy, they're not deserving, that they can't possibly love themselves until a certain event or a certain thing happens. And I'd like now for you to learn to let that go. And if you need coaching to learn to let that go, or need to get on a program to learn to let that go, then do it. It will be the greatest gift that you give yourself, because you'll never feel that loving presence of who you really are until you learn to let go of what you think is holding you back. And in most cases, it is the opinions of others. So where do we go from here? Why should we love ourselves anyway? It is important to love ourselves anyway, irrespective of what anybody else thinks. So how can you start doing that today? How can you see and like and approve and appreciate of yourself today, just as you are? Warts and all, if you like. The very fact that maybe you haven't washed your hair, or maybe you're still in your PJs, or maybe you haven't had a shave today, or maybe you've not had your hair cut, or maybe this, maybe that, maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you feel like you weren't a good enough child or a good enough parent, or when are you going to let that go and see that in this moment that you are the best that you can be in this moment, that you are enough, and that we all have the choice to change right this minute. And that in this minute we can choose a different thought, a different feeling, to accept a different pattern on our life, which will create a new tomorrow. Are you ready? Are you ready to let go of some of those expectations, some of those beliefs that other people have held, that we have just taken on because that's what's in the general consciousness around, the general belief? But is it really need to be your belief? In my 4-week program that is all about learning to love yourself, you are guided lovingly, supportingly, through changing your opinion about yourself. We never change by berating ourselves. We never change by being hard on ourselves. We never change by continuously telling ourselves that we're not enough. We change by loving ourselves, by accepting ourselves, by feeling and knowing that in this moment you are good enough. And there are some wonderful, wonderful tools and techniques to learn to help you come to a greater realization of the beliefs you've taken on board, which are really somebody else's. They don't need to be yours. It's safe to let some of this go, to know that you are worthy and deserving of love in this moment, irrespective of whatever is going on, or how you look, or how you feel. You are enough, and that is enough. If you want to find out more about that program, you can check it out on whyfollowtheherd.com/programs. And it's how to fall in love with your life. It is the most wonderful 4-week program of videos and audios and PDFs and things and wonderful tools to be able to understand yourself, to heal that language, that inner critic, that dialogue which really says you're not enough, when in truth you really are. And sometimes it is really good to have something or someone to help raise in our consciousness where we are berating ourselves, where we're being hard on ourselves, and how we can learn to change that. If you'd like to receive a little bit of positive on a Monday morning into your inbox just to kickstart a really great week, you can do that as well at whyfollowtheherd.com/positive. We have the most wonderful choice to change. And I'd like you to like this video. I'd like you to like some of the thoughts in this video. I'd like you to share it with the people who are feeling loss or feeling not good enough, that are creating their own suffering, that are hurting, because we all do it to ourselves at different levels. And there are times we just need a virtual hug and to know that we're okay. And that we have the power of our perceptions and choice to change. And we can change slowly, baby step by baby step, by loving ourselves a little more. So please share that and subscribe to the channel so you get all the notifications and can learn more things about loving yourself. So be patient with yourself and think of the good things that you can do. Appreciate what you can do. Appreciate what has shown up. Gratitude is a huge, huge thing to give yourself. And it is certainly part of that 4-week program. The more we can see the good stuff, the more good stuff there is to see. So remember that as you travel through the rest of your week, and have the most wonderful of weeks. And I hope this helps shift your perception a little bit of where you are and the wonderful potential that you have and the gift you are to the world. And I look forward to seeing you again next week.